As we begin our meditation, we can acknowledge that initially the fact of being aware can seem like a distant place that we visit from time to time. Our minds may be caught up in the content of our experience, and we find ourselves lost in thought or identified with our emotions. This is where suffering begins. But we can break the cycle by taking a step back from the content of our experience repeatedly. We can start opening ourselves to the appearance of any experience, and equally to the disappearance of any experience, without any resistance. We can allow whatever arises to come and go without trying to change it or control it. We can observe our experience with a sense of detachment without getting caught up in it. Allowing ourselves to simply observe the flow of experience without interfering in any way. As you do so, noticing that you are the one who is aware of these experiences. Your experiences may come and go, but the awareness that is present remains constant in getting to know yourself as this simple fact of awareness or being aware, and disentangling yourself from the content of your experiences by simply allowing whatever comes to come and whatever goes to go. Allowing yourself to simply observe the flow of experience without interfering in any way. Whatever thoughts, feelings, or sensations arise, simply allowing them to be present without trying to change them or push them away. And as you do so, noticing that you are the one who is aware of these experiences. Your experiences may come and go, but the awareness that is present remains constant. As you continue to observe your experience without judgment, getting to know yourself as this simple fact of being aware, or as awareness itself. And as you rest in this awareness, noticing how it is free from any concepts, beliefs, or stories that you may have about yourself. You are not your thoughts, feelings, or sensations, perceptions, but rather the one who is aware of them. Resting in this knowing and noticing how it brings a sense of peace and clarity. As you continue to observe your experience without interference, you may notice that the mind starts to wander. If this happens, simply noticing that your mind has wandered and bringing your attention back to the present moment. Allowing yourself to simply be aware of what is here and now without trying to fix or change anything. As you continue to observe the flow of experience without interference, allowing yourself to notice any resistance or searching that arises, observing these tendencies with gentle curiosity, without judgment or condemnation, recognizing that this resistance and seeking does not arise from your true nature, but rather from your identification with the content of experience. As you look for this familiar me or self, allowing yourself to simply notice what arises. And perhaps there are thoughts and feelings, sensations, perceptions. Whatever arises, allow it to be present without judgment or analysis. Noticing that as you do so, the fact of being aware or awareness itself becomes more and more apparent. Noticing that as you step back from the content of experience and rest in the presence of awareness, allowing yourself to notice any sense of sorrow or discontent that may arise. Observing these emotions without getting caught up in them, simply allowing them to be present as they are. Recognize that the presence of awareness is inherently peaceful and content, and that any suffering arises from our identification with the content of experience. Allowing yourself to be fully open to the appearance of any experience and equally to the disappearance of any experience, without resistance, without judgment. Noticing that as you do so, you become more deeply rooted in the fact of being aware or awareness itself. Rest in or rest as this presence of awareness, knowing that there is no need to search for anything else or resist what is present. Simply be as the presence of awareness that you truly are. There is no sorrow or discontentment there. Initially, our being or the fact of being aware seems like a place in ourselves that we visit from time to time. And through force of habit, we find ourselves lost in or identified with the content of experience, and our suffering begins again. To break this cycle, we can repeatedly step back from experience, from the content. And eventually our being, the fact of being aware, or awareness itself, becomes not just a place that we visit from time to time, but where we live. It becomes our new identity. And just as we didn't need to remind ourselves that we are a he or a she or a they, we do not need to remind ourselves that we are awareness. We simply live as awareness, feeling ourselves as this ever-present, open, empty, resistanceless, and inherently peaceful presence of awareness. It becomes our natural condition. As we engage with experience, we recognize that we are not limited to any particular aspect of it, such as thoughts or emotions. We know and feel ourselves to be the presence of awareness that is intimately connected with all experience, but free from it. This recognition does not require any effort. It simply needs to be recognized. As we rest in our being, the stress that arose from being mixed up with the content of experience gradually dissolves, revealing the innate peace of our nature. Over time, we begin to recognize that our being is not limited to thoughts, emotions, or the body, but is in fact the same being that everyone and everything essentially is. We share our being with all, and the boundary between ourselves and others is merely a product of the mind, of thought. And by regularly reminding ourselves of these two universal truths, that our essential being is happiness and our essential being is shared by all, we come to understand and feel and live the implications of this non-dual understanding. As we come to the end of this meditation, take a moment to appreciate the simplicity and power of this simple practice. By allowing yourself to rest as awareness, you can disentangle yourself from the content of experiences and rest in the peace and clarity of your own true nature. Allowing this awareness to be your permanent refuge as you move throughout the world.